If you are lucky enough to have a little extra cash during this economic downturn, turns out there are bargains to be had all over the place. Jill Schlesinger is editor-at-large for CBSMoneyWatch.com and one of the best people we could think of to turn to with her must-buy, 9 must-buys for 2009. Good morning. Good to have you back with us.
Great to be here.
So it really is a good time to buy things because a lot of people, even if they have the money, are thinking, I should just hold on to it in case.
Well, you know, it's a very interesting thing. The greatest part of a recession is that prices tend to go down. Deflation, right? The opposite of inflation. And that means that you could have some really terrific opportunities to buy things that you've been waiting to buy, like
a house.
A house, exactly. A house or an apartment, which is really the top of the list right now.
So this is the top of the list of everything, but especially of long-term steals, because if you've got the money, obviously a great time to get in. Another thing you say is great in terms of a long-term steal, a car.
Yes, all the car makers fighting for your business, great incentives. You know, and even if you do need a loan, all the mortgage rates and car rates, all the costs of lending have gone down. Again, you need good credit, but cars are a fantastic thing. If you've got a 12-year-old clunker, you need to replace it, you're going to need to replace it. Don't do it if you can't afford it, but it is a good time to do it.
It almost seems like they're paying you sometimes to get the car these days, which isn't good for the car makers, but it is great for consumers, as you said. Also, investments, which you don't think of as necessarily buying, but it's definitely something to do with your money.
Well, here's the thing. When you think about it, back in October of 2007, everybody felt fine pouring money into their retirement accounts, and yet stocks were 40% higher. So you could sort of think about it and say, I'm getting a 40% bargain right now. So if you have money and you're not maxing out your retirement plan, now's a very good time to do it. It doesn't mean things are going to turn around immediately, but we're talking about you're buying for the next 10, 20 years. It's a terrific time to build your portfolio right now.
So if you can, definitely up your 401k contribution or however you're doing your long-term retirement planning. Short-term steals, vacations. I have noticed this one. I just wish I had more time off.
Well, let me talk to Michael about that. But let me just say that if you have some time and some money, there are fantastic bargains. Especially, I noticed internationally, the packages are tremendous. Flights really plentiful in terms of like deals that are available. Good time to cut your deal on that. Here's my next favorite one. Okay.
I like this one too, Jill, I have to say.
Jewelry.
Yes.
Well, all right.
Are you listening, honey?
Okay. All those honeys out there? Well, diamond prices down by 14%.
Wow.
Demand for gold has dropped. So price of gold is up, but demand for jewelry down.
Okay.
Great time.
So we'll look at that. Also, when it comes to consumer things, I'm going to race through these a little bit because I have one question I want to get to. TVs. Computers, we've seen a number of deals too, like big screen TVs, HD TVs, obviously. Computers we have too. Furniture is a good time for.
Yes, all of these things, I would say these are consumer items. Really, when the housing market collapsed, all of these things came under pressure because when you're not buying a big house, you're not buying televisions and furniture and and by the way, last one,
retail.
Shopping.
Yeah.
Great deals to be had. Not quite as good as last November, December, because all the retailers bought too much. They're buying better, but you know what? I'm not lured by 10 or 20% off.
I'm not either. I want 40.
4 is where we start.
Well, that's my last question. Really quickly for you is, do you buy some of these things now, or do you wait for prices to go down?
Well, you know, that's the problem with deflation. It's a really terrible spiral down. But the reality is, if you need it, now is a good time to buy it. And you can always buy a little bit more later if prices go down. But especially the big tickets, start looking now.
We will. Jill Schlesinger, great tips. Good to have you here. Thanks.
Great to be here.